we need to just talk about the Aces really quickly because I have you, and there was a game played,
Yeah.
and the Aces won. The
Yeah.
Aces have now won 7 of their last 8 games, Callie.
Mhm. Yeah.
And the one game that they did lose was to the New York Liberty, and Asia Wilson didn't play, and they almost won.
Yeah.
They almost won that game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to now say I'm feeling a little vindicated because
This is our vindication show, y'all. That's what we're gonna title it.
a lot of people were coming for me, right? Because of things my power rankings, they felt like they favored the Aces. I wasn't really ready to drop them. I felt like a lot of their issues were about Chelsea Gray not being there early in the season. And look, that's the kind of deference you give to back-to-back champions. That's not new. It's not like that happens for everybody, right? It's like until you see someone take them down in a series, you got to give them that respect, right? And if you're just being honest and you're paying attention to how they're playing, it's clear they were missing their point guard, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't want to have grace. Someone's coming back from injury. It takes a lot. We've talked about in detail all the different things they're dealing with, Olympics, all the different things. So we know there are legitimate basketball reasons why the Aces did not look like themselves. But you and I have both said because they're the Aces, there's enough time for them to turn it around. And I think it's possible for them to turn it around. Callie, I'd say they've turned it around and they are looking pretty scary heading into the postseason. The defense has been great. Chelsea Gray is looking like the point guard again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
A few games ago, I thought I was going to be coming on here asking you what's going on with Jackie Young. I don't have those questions anymore. Jackie Young looks like herself.
yeah.
Kelsey looks like herself. These women are rolling.
Mm-hmm.
They can technically still get the 3 seed.
They sure can.
And yes, logistically it's possible. And they're just a scary team heading into the postseason. I don't know that if you were an opposing team that I would want to see them.
Yeah. I mean, you said all they have to do, all they have to do, they need to win out, okay? And the Connecticut Sun would need to lose out, and then they would have that number 3 spot. So that's like a pretty simple situation there that could really feasibly happen, which would be crazy considering that just coming out of the Olympic break, Becky Hammon was talking about being the 2021 Chicago Sky and winning the championship from the 6th seed. Like, we have come a long way. And I think it's funny too, you talked about just like the individual players clicking when they need to be clicking. But the biggest thing for me, oh my gosh, is the defense. Like, as a team, their defense has gotten better. They look a lot better. They seem to be communicating. It's like they trust each other more on defense. And that's showing. They've limited their opponents to less than 75 points in their last 3 games, and then like less than 80 over that winning streak, the kind of winning 7 of 8 games streak that they're on. So I think that that's probably what Becky Hammon is most happy about right now. I think is the defense improving. So I don't think that the Aces' ability to score was really ever in question when you have somebody like Asia Wilson. But I think that, oh my gosh, the defense and also just the consistency. I think that we were able to get a good glimpse of that when they had those 2 games in Indianapolis against the Fever, because it's like this is a kind of an unfriendly environment, and the Fever are not a team to cough at. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're good. They have improved a lot coming out of the Olympic break, and so that they had the potential to be a difficult test. I think when you see the same team twice in 3 days on their home court, that's a good simulation of like a playoff situation. And they passed that test, I think, with flying colors. So I think, the consistency is there. Defense has improved. And it's kind of funny to see, like, things were rough at the start of the season, 6-6 without Chelsea Gray. And during that break, like during that time, you saw Becky Hammon being like, Chelsea Gray cannot save us. Like, there are fundamental things that we're not doing that if we don't reprove them when Chelsea gets back, we're still not going to be good. And then It was like, I hated our vibe. Like, she was going in. And now we finally reached the point where she doesn't have anything to really complain about. So this is where you want to be heading into the postseason.